The morning mist was slowly rising over the Boer wagons. 470 armed Boers was waiting for a battle that proved to be the most successful battle ever fought in the history of the world. On 16 December 1838, Andries Pretorius led 470 armed Boers against an overpowering army of 15 to 20,000 Zulus. After the battle was finished, only 3 Boers was wounded. Andres Pretorius was one of them when he led a charge with his horse and was wounded with an assegai. Over 3,000 Zulus was killed that day. The night before the battle, Andres Pretorius got his 470 Boer warriors together, and they made a covenant with God. That covenant is still standing today and is known as the Day of Covenant on the 16th of December. For the Boers, it's a very important day, and for the rest of the world, it earmarked a victory that was never paralleled in the history of the world again. We believe that it was the Lord helping the Boers that day to achieve that victory. And that is why it's so important to remember that day and to remember the miracle that happened. This TONTELDOOS or tinderbox belonged to Andries Pretorius. I'm holding a piece of real South African history in my hands, as this TONTELDOOS was given by Andries Pretorius' grandson to a family friend's grandpa. He kept it in the family, and the family loaned it to me as a real privilege. I'm going to teach you how to make a TONTELDOOS, which is the Afrikaans word for a tinderbox. Now, not a lot has been written up on TONTELDOOS over the years, and unfortunately a lot of these little amazing firelighters have been lost during the Anglo-Boer War, and consequently when people moved off farms and moved on to modern ways of lighting fires. To be able to make one of these little firelighters, all you need is a piece of copper piping. You need 2 of these little plumbing end caps. They're 22mm caps. You buy them from any hardware store. Small piece of cord, this is totally optional. Then obviously you need your little bit of striker. In this instance I've used an old file and just shaped it a little bit. We'll talk about that just now. And then also a piece of flint, which is a piece of rock you pick up in the field. Strike it with your striker. If it makes a spark, it will work. It's as easy as that. Then you will need some of this, which is 100% cotton. Now this is the important part in the whole combustion of this little fire striker. This is 100% pure cotton, which is ideal. This is the stuff we want. The voortrekkers would have used cotton from their tent, canvas perhaps, or a piece of their clothing. A lot of the clothing and a lot of the materials they used back then was all natural cotton. So they had a load of resources available to them. Let's go through the parts that you need a little bit closer. This is a 22mm copper pipe. It's used for plumbing. You can buy it at any hardware store and they sell it in lengths. If you're lucky, they will even give you a small piece of offcut, which is all you need. Then you will need 2 of these little copper caps. They're sold separately in the hardware store as well. 22mm caps. Just ask the guy behind the counter for plumbing caps. This is a 22mm one, and you see that I've drilled a small hole right in the center of each of these 2 caps. Then you need a small piece of cord. The cord is only there to keep the caps with the TONTELDOOS at all time. You will also need a little striker. This striker is an old file. I've sharpened it on one end and I've made 2 little notches in there, which the function of those will be clear in just a moment. And then the flint that we talked about. Walk around in the field, make an adventure of it, pick up your own. It's great fun to go and look for these. And then the most important ingredient, the most important part, natural cotton. You can use rope from a mop head. There is some suggestions that work very well. There's also some cotton material that you can buy from haberdashery stores, and make sure that it's 100% cotton, and you will probably have great success as well. Right, let's put this tinderbox or TONTELDOOS together. First, take your small little piece of pipe, take some cotton, and now just roll it up nice and tight. Roll it as you stuff it into the tinderbox. and try to fill up the whole tube. You'll be surprised how much you can actually fit in there. Right, the next step is to attach your two little end caps. Now the caps will simply fit over the pipe. If it's a little bit loose, all you do is just bend the pipe slightly with a pair of pliers, the little cap or the pipe, which just takes it off round, making it a little bit bigger on one side, and it will fit more snugly. To keep the caps in place, we're going to use a small piece of paracord. Simply tie a knot on the one end of your paracord. Slip it through the hole. Pull the knot all the way through to make sure that it sits securely in the cap. This will hold the one end of your cap onto the tinderbox. Now it becomes clear why we have that little notches in our striker. If you have your end caps on the ends and your cord runs through those little notches, it will hold it nicely in place. You will have to make sure to make a knot on the inside of your lid or the other side of the cap, right where my nail is. Keep your finger on that spot. Thread the other end of your cord from the outside right through the little cap. And make your knot. Cut the loose ends off and discard that piece. The tinderbox sits nicely with the two caps securely held in place by the cord. Your file striker with the two notches cut into the ends simply fits inside the cord and is held nicely in place on the side of your tinderbox. The next step is to prepare the cotton charred in the inside of your tinderbox. This is probably the most important step. Remove both end caps of your tinderbox. They sit nice and secure. And now with your finger, push the cotton from the bottom so that you expose a little bit at the top. With an open flame, I'm using a lighter, you can use any open flame. Simply char the cotton all the way around. Once you've charred the cotton all the way around, when I blow on it, you will notice that it glows bright red. That is exactly the effect that you would want from flint and steel. And that is what you will achieve with finely charred cotton like this. Replace the end caps to starve the cotton from oxygen, and that simply extinguishes it. I'm going to show you how this amazing tonteldoos works. I hope you have enjoyed this video on how to make a tonteldoos and have great fun making your own. I hope to meet you around the campfire on a survival course soon.